Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on settling all of this space out here. It's going to take us some time. We have 179 influence. We must have gotten some from events, or I just didn't build things. It's one of those two things. That, of course, means that we do have quite a lot of influence to work with. Hang on. I'm going to load in an autosave. So this would be an autosave as of a month ago. And this save would have been created during the last episode, as opposed to this one, which was created after the last episode. Did we have that? Where did we get all this influence from? Am I dumb? Do I just not remember? I don't know. 174. Maybe I just didn't spend it. Or maybe it was an event, and I just have no memory of this. I don't know. Regardless, I'm happy about it. I'm really, really pleased to have that level of influence. It's going to go away pretty quickly, but I like it. We're not going to run the Ute Cryocore. We do need a job on our capital, but this is currently maxed out unless we wanted to, like, run a... We're running an anti-crime campaign right now. If we wanted to run, like, martial law here, that'd be a possibility. But realistically, we should resettle these out onto one of our other worlds. Like, say... Let's see, that's the unemployment right there. We want to look at the number of free jobs, right? So we'd want to move this somewhere that is, like, ever in prime. This would be ideal. So we would move this guy over to here. Beautiful. And of course, now we would need a job here, but we would simply build our agriculture district and expand our ship shelter. Cool. So that's underway. We're on normal speed. No wonder things seemed a little weird with that hyperspace jump. But that's looking good. We're going to grab our volatile motes here.
Special project actualized.
The holographic data documents the terms and conditions for a trilateral trade treaty between three major alien powers that once dominated this quadrant of the galaxy. Context eludes us and the details are meaningless, but Science Officer Rugged Tissue feels that this find will prove invaluable, improving our own ability to communicate with alien forces. Okay, cool. So we get some, some society research. We're probably not going to have Rugged Tissue do any statecraft research. So that's probably all we're going to get out of that. As soon as we're done here, we want to go build our starbase in Cam. Excellent. And our archaeological site is pending. We think we're immune to the full effects of the intoxicating mist. If we can get the ship's engines online, we can launch the ship and send it back home for study. This will take time, but the elaborate pharmaceutical laboratory may provide useful biochemical augmentation for our Empire's soldiers, so we can get minor artifacts and bring it online now. Or we can run diagnostics and make repairs. And I think that's what we'll do. We foolishly thought we were immune to the mist, but our engineers are experiencing a state of rapturous bliss. They dance in the ship's corridors, singing atonally. We'll need to clear the atmosphere and capture our engineers before we can launch the ship. This delay will cost us time, so we'll capture them. Cool. Yutan will be finished surveying when? We're actually getting pretty close here, looks like. Yeah, it's almost done. So that's looking good.
Survey complete.
Excellent. So that's done. Turning to the center of the impact zone, it soon became evident how the giant space rock crashed in on the city. The locality had been the anchor point of a surface-to-orbit tether, a space elevator leading from the planet all the way to the small moon. Due to some accident, or a severe miscalculation done by the engineering department, the tether pulled the space rock too hard, upsetting the centrifugal forces and shifting the moon to just inside the gravity well. With gravity now the enemy, even the super-dense structure of the space elevator could only slow the moon's descent, not stop it. Menacingly, inexorably, the rock came crashing down on the helpless city below. Fascinating. So we gained some anti-gravity engineering experience there. We've also got the Cache Inquirer here, which... an artifact research station for both of these. Fascinating. Okay, that's new. And I like it. We're going to need those. So we're going to disband the Cache Inquirer, as well as the other Cache Inquirer. Neither of these are currently necessary, so we're going to keep around our two science ships for the moment. Everything else is virtually completed. We are going to have a couple of archaeological sites over here. This one we're not going to be able to take until we can deal with this fallen empire, but the rest of them should be reasonably fine. So we have 146 influence right now, and we're heading into Yutan. We'll build our starbase there. Cool. And what is this war declaration? Okay, yeah, that's not all that relevant. Dahlberg Prime does require a job. It is a factory world. We can simply upgrade to civilian fabricators. Can we get any moat harvesting traps here? Do it. Okay, so we'll get that done. The cache build, of course, needs to build in Cam, and we'll do so, and then we'll go take Nokum. So 4.93, we're definitely gaining more influence. That's for sure. But this influence is not going to last forever. So that's fine. I do want to get us the ability to do terraformations. That would be very handy. Ecological adaptation would be nice, but is not strictly speaking necessary. But I definitely want to get terraformations. Yeah, we're burning these migrating forests right now. That'll be done eventually. And our science is just not great. There's no doubt about that.
Upscaling complete.
We can get some science out of Yutan, and we will certainly do so. There's also 5 exotic gases there, so that could maybe get us gas extraction tech, which would be nice. We've got this mining world here that requires additional jobs, and we'll get a mining district going. Cool. So this is all looking absolutely great, right? We're going to need to deal with a few of these areas, like the Void Clouds over here, the Enigmatic Fortress here, the Umarthan Vestige for sure. Now, if I recall correctly, these guys are Holy Guardians. Colonizing systems that they consider sacred is likely to incur their ire. But I believe we can build star bases in these systems. They just won't let us colonize these Gaia worlds. I'm pretty sure that's how that's working. Archaeological site. Hey. Initial exploration shown, or rather down, on Tiamat Prime's surface reveals that this planet was indeed home to some kind of civilization. Hang on. A defensive pact invitation? We'll get back to you. However, the level of devastation indicates that it must have been a very long time ago, and it's quite likely that the civilization was struck by some kind of sudden and terrifying force. There isn't even ruins enough left to get an idea about the aliens' physiology. We'll keep looking into that, and who is this? The Pictlings. They want a defensive pact with us. They're overwhelming to us, which is not shocking. Our military is very, very not prioritized. This will cost us influence. That's the question here. But we're not in a race anymore. Everything back here is secure. I think we agree to this. We will be stronger together for the time being. We might break that later, but I think for now, that'll do the trick.
Incoming transmission.
Embassy, yes, absolutely. Federation Association offer, huh? So there's a Federation out there already. Good to know. That is definitely good to know. Of course, our only interest is constructing things. We're not interested in conquest. But we need to get to a point where we're constructing things...
Special
like,
project
once we run out of
actualized.
things to construct in our own territory, that's when we will start constructing things for others. They may or may not be willing for us to do that, but they'll let us do it anyway. A napalm bombing campaign has been effective in decimating the migrating forests on Cosmalian Prime. The massive firestorms have left a smoldering landscape in their wake, in which our ecologists have planted more traditional and significantly less mobile off-world trees. Losses to the planet's wildlife have been substantial, but are within acceptable limits. Cool. We just lost a scientist that was on Entropy's Promise? Was that this science ship? No. That was one of our scientists that were disbanded. Their ship was decommissioned. That'll be fine. So we have this job here, and of course, for the time being, Entropy's Promise is full.
Upscaling complete.
That will change, but for the time being, it is full.
Upscaling complete.
So the cache compose is done in Uton. Apparently we can't grab these energy credits because it's also the exotic gases here. Okay, well that's fine. We'll head over and grab Himpra so that this is no longer bothering me. There we go. And up in Nokum, of course, we're going to grab our mining and research stations. Cool. So that's all looking fine. We'll get this as soon as we can. But for the time being, actually, we got our L-Gate Insight there. So we should be able to grab our gas extraction wells now, and that's absolutely great. Research alternatives? Or research station output. I think research station output is the way to go. We do need to keep scaling our science, after all. The surface team has isolated a radio signal down on the planet. Its origin is still unknown, but translated parts have started to reveal information about the long-lost civilization. Some unidentified and approaching threat to the civilization, a collective fascination with technological advances, rumors of a giant spaceship being built in another part of the galaxy. These themes are recurring in the scrambled messages. We'll keep looking into that. Okay. We're still negative on food, so I want to resettle this guy over to our agro world. There we go. And that should put us back to being positive on food. We're ever so slightly negative on rare crystals, apparently. What is consuming rare crystals right now? I don't actually know. The director of the Museum of Exobiology on Entropy's Promise has issued a request for the procurement of several live alien specimens. These creatures were spotted on surveyed habitable worlds, but they're difficult to capture. It will require the full resources of a science ship for a lengthy period of time. Do we want to do this? It kind of depends on where they are.
Situation log revised.
Where are these? Okay, that looks doable. Yeah, that's definitely doable. So once we're done in Tiamat, we will make our way to grab those. In fact, I'll queue that up right now. So we will research the project in the system there. Then we'll come over to Ethos. Then we'll go to... from there, here. Slightly awkward paths, for sure. And then we come over to Astrikian, and then over to here, and then over to Soju. So that would be the path that we would take. It's going to take a while, but now we at least don't have to track this, so that'll be good. Our factory world here requires an additional job. Okay, let's build civilian fabricators for the time being. And this generator world also requires a job. Do we want this to actually be a generator world? Mostly the answer to that is no. I want this to develop as a science world. So we're going to build another city district, and we'll build a corporate culture site for now.
Upscaling complete.
That'll do for this moment. The archaeologists managed to home in on the source of the mysterious signal. It came from deep underground. Unearthing of the site has only just begun, but indications point to some kind of research and development facility. The place is littered with remarkably high-detailed miniature prototypes and various technological devices. Scans show a hollow space further down, and excavation is underway, so we'll keep digging on that one. And we, of course, are going to grab Himpra here, and then I think we're going to head up to Aranis, build our research stations there. Then we're going to head back over to Firmathrios and build that. Then we're going to build an outpost in Tegi, will be the idea. So that'll be fine. The cache build, of course, has finished up in Nakam, and we're going to go grab Dongar for the time being. And that'll all be good. And then once we're done over here, we'll send the cache compose over to grab these artifacts. We should think about getting some trade over here, but protecting the trade going back to our capital is going to be really awkward over in this direction, which is why I haven't really prioritized that at this point. I'm kind of waiting on getting, well, gateways would make it a lot easier, but that's a ways out. to be honest. That's a really,
Upscaling
really long
complete.
ways out. So that's probably not something that we want to wait on. We'll build out in Dongar, and of course we want to colonize this. And this will be colonized with... What is the difference between these? Is one of them zombies? No, this just adds in limited regeneration. Okay, that seems fine. Yeah, it's low habitability, but it's 60%. We'll head out there. Our excavation team have made an interesting discovery. A collection of miniature hard drives held information about an ongoing project that seems to have been the focal point of this installation, maybe even that of the entire civilization. It speaks of a mighty vessel to rival the galaxy's most gargantuan flyer. What beast of a machine did they build down there? A good question. We'll look into that. Show us your wares. What do you got? For 500 Unity, they are going to give us a one-time delivery to a single colony, lasts 80 years, increases immigration pull by 30%, and pop growth from immigration by 10%. Deal. Now, did that give us, like, a decision that we can make? Can we target that somewhere? Or is that just, does it get automatically assigned? It looks like it gets targeted. And I'm guessing we can only do it in one location. I would like that to go to our science world. So, we're going to put that in there. And now we can't send that anywhere else, correct? Correct. It gets consumed. Okay. So we're going to get some immigration here. Further analysis of the data recovered from the Uton system has revealed a subtle repeating energy pattern hidden in the background noise, coming from the asteroid SA-093-TS8 to Uton
Situation
indeed.
log revised.
So I'm going to grab this science ship, and we're going to head to Uton and research that, since we have this one queued up with a bunch of other stuff. That'll be fine for now. We'll head back to Nightbirth eventually, but maybe we should just head over to Cosmalian Prime. By the time we get there, it might be better. These guys want to guarantee our independence. Will we lose influence from that? I don't think so. So we definitely accept that. Remember, we are not trying to compete
Upscaling
militarily right now.
complete.
We're just trying to not get taken over militarily. So that'll be fine. From here, I definitely do want to head up to Lingle. The question is, how are we doing on this? Yeah, that'll take a while yet. Okay. So that should be fine. No problem whatsoever there, I think. Our capital, we have this job. They're migrating. This factory world needs an additional job, and we'll put in an industrial district there. It's now possible to activate one of our relics. Yeah, I don't really care about that. This mining world is not really going to be a mining world, is it? This could be another science world, in theory. Neither of them are particularly good for mining. This one could be an industrial world. That is a theoretical possibility here. We'll consider it. But 2 science worlds is not a terrible idea. After all, we need to research new architectural methods, right?
Upscaling
So
complete.
that's not an awful idea. We can definitely get a mining district going here. And our archaeological site has finished. Excellent. It's a massive spaceship. Well, at least to the population of Tiamat Prime, who, as it turned out, were absolutely tiny. The miniature prototypes found here were apparently their actual machines, and what was assumed to be a facility was, in fact, their capital city. The threat that was mentioned in the scrambled signals turns out to be their opponents in an intergalactic tech competition. This entire mini-civilization came together, trying to get the first prize. Seems as we're the ones to score the prize this time. So we got the Lesser Messenger added to our fleet. Okay. I mean, it's not great. It's a Corvette. We'll keep it for the moment, but we're probably going to get rid of it fairly quickly once we start actually doing things with our fleets. But we're going to keep it around for the power projection. Cool, so that'll do. The cache build, of course, needs to build in Lingle. And then I think we're going to backtrack and go grab Amory. There's no planets up over here. We do want to get it eventually, but there are no planets there. Cool. Now these guys are surveying out over here, the Solora Multitude. Are they going to actually colonize it? I don't think so. We do need to sell off some minerals, and we got ourselves a tradition. So we max out the prosperity tree. What do we take for our next ascension perk? Enigmatic engineering? Wouldn't be the worst of ideas. I would usually go with something like galactic force projection here, but I don't think that's necessary. Mastery of nature to do a decision to permanently increase the maximum number of districts a planet can support by 2 would not be bad. I also wouldn't mind eventually getting things like maybe even World Shaper. Archeo Engineers would be interesting. Colossus Project would, of course, be a thing that we could go for. Master Builders would almost certainly be something that we'd want. Detox would be a good one. But none of those are currently possible. So, given what is currently available, I'm leaning towards Mastery of Nature to make our planets better. So we'll grab that for now. And we'll continue to grab additional traditions soon enough. Migration Treaty. Yes, we're okay with that. An agri-world here needing a job is a good thing, considering we're negative in food. We'll build an agriculture district. Do we have food processing yet? Apparently not. Okay. Our tech is really awkward. There's no doubt about that. A small listening outpost dating back to the ancient Ute-Jabardini conflict with a substantial data cache was hidden deep within the asteroid, built by the Jabardini after the war to observe Utan in case any Ute returned to their home system. In the centuries that followed, the Jabardini repurposed the outpost into a testing site for some of their more novel experiments in faster-than-light travel. While the data is mostly theoretical, some may still be of use. So we just got the research option hyper relays and an Elgate insight. Hyper relays cost rare crystals. Do they cost influence? I can't remember. Can we see? No, not yet. Okay. Can we see it from here? Hyper relays are, I think, engineering? No, I guess physics. Sure. So what do we have here? Hyper relay construction, yeah. Yeah, I don't think it says there. That's very sad that it doesn't say anything, but it is what it is. So we're going to send you, I think, over to Cosmalian, and we will start assisting research there. Not like we're generating much research on Cosmalian right now. Snirans are large, burrowing creatures that live beneath the dunes of the vast equatorial forests on Dahlberg Prime. When these predators sense movement in the sand above, they immediately raise dozens of tall spikes on their backs in the hope of impaling something edible. Finding a suitable specimen proved difficult at first, until hundreds of tracked remote-controlled drones were dispatched across the desert in random directions. This led to the discovery and procurement of an unusually large specimen that had grown more than 100 spikes on its back. Cool. So there's a specimen gathered.
Upscaling complete.
So here on Tiamat Prime, what are we going to go for? I mean, crystal mines is definitely a thing that we should probably get. We're going to need a lot of rare crystals. So we'll get that underway.
Incoming inquiry.
A commercial pact invitation. This is beneficial for us. We accept that. A research agreement. This is very beneficial for us. We accept that as well. Beautiful. So that looks good. Again, we're not really too concerned about a lot of things. Yeah, there's Arctic worlds over here. We do have Ikazui that could colonize these almost. So that's interesting for sure. Let's grab hyper relays. We're probably going to want to start building those to get around a little bit faster. Things are slow right now. No doubt about that. Regulatory facilitation. Okay. Form the galactic market. We support that. Cool. So the galactic market is hopefully going to be passing, and that's what we're really interested in right now. So it's all looking good. The Pictings are a lot stronger than us militarily, but we are focusing on other things. We're not too concerned about military right now. We'll get there. So we're currently heading over to Amory to build a starbase here. And there's colonial centralization finishing up. That's very, very good for us. We can get a number of upgrades going here. We'll also work on, I think, clearing some of these tile blockers. So sinkholes would be great. For now, we could go for minerals from miners. That's a fairly cheap one. Mineral purification hubs. That's good. These are not going anywhere. So I think for the moment, we go for, like, minerals from miners. Cool. We're going to upgrade our planetary capital. We're going to upgrade our planetary capital. And on this generator world, this really isn't going to be a generator world. We are going to be getting science going here. So we're going to put in a research lab. Cool. So that's underway. And we're in Firmathrios right now, so we're going to have a bit of an influence issue down this way. 3.38 per month now due to our research agreement, migration pact, defensive pact, closed borders. Yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a whole thing. There's a lot going on there. And is there anything that we want to cut out? Not really. A lot of these things are exceptionally valuable for us. The only thing that is arguably not valuable would be the migration treaty. And actually, you have Spark of Genius. Yeah, you're fine. Cool. Arguably the migration treaty, but I think we'll keep that around. For now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to colonize all of this space. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kintogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, had to wait a bit, I was a little bit ahead, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Anna the Elephant, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.